honestly felt like my vagina was on fire, and I felt myself tear a little bit, which was so like ugh. Hi baby Graceland, hello. Oh, you're so mad.
Just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today, I'm finally sitting down and sharing with you guys all about my birth story and how I was able to achieve a natural birth. So if you guys are pregnant yourself, and if you guys are right around your due date, hopefully this video is able to give you guys some tips and kind of help prepare you guys for what to expect for labor and delivery. So let's go ahead and just get started. So I'm going to start off with when my water broke. So my water broke April 12th at noon, and I was very nervous. I was so scared, but also excited at the same time, because with my water breaking, I knew that labor is just within a couple of hours, or not a couple of hours, but was just right around the corner. And so right when my water broke, I started having contractions right away, which was a really good sign that my body was cooperating with me naturally going into labor. So we came home, and then my husband, he went off to the gym while I was in labor, and I was just at home chilling. I was double checking our bags and getting the car packed and ready for the hospital. I ate, I showered, I was bouncing on my yoga ball, I was going up and down the stairs, basically anything that I can do to stay active to help progress labor. That's basically what I did. And so it was right around 8 o'clock when I called my triage nurse. She recommended for us to just go into the hospital since I was 40 weeks and 5 days overdue. They want to just monitor me and make sure baby is doing well. And at this time as well too, baby was still moving, and the contractions, they were not as intense, so they felt like just any regular period cramps. And my pain tolerance level is pretty high. I have had pretty intense period cramps, and so it kind of wasn't anything out of the ordinary for me. And so we went to the hospital at around 8 o'clock, and it was raining that day. It was such a depressing weather, but at the same time, like, me and my husband, we were really excited that we were going to be meeting her very soon. So we got to the hospital, we met our evening nurse, I gave her my birth plan, and she kind of read through it. We were just kind of browsing through our labor room, and it was actually very nice. It was big, spacious, and they had a lot of things there too. So they had like yoga balls, the peanut ball, they had like the squat bars and all of that too. So they did have quite a bit of things to help with labor, and so that was really nice. And especially because with COVID too, like, we didn't really have the chance to go in to actually see our hospital. It was nice that it looked exactly like how it did online. So that was that. And then once we met our evening nurse, we actually got introduced to our overnight nurse. And then just a little bit after kind of getting used to the room, bouncing on the ball and staying active, the doctor came in. So that's when we met our doctor. I've never met her before. She basically just introduced herself and she checked my cervix. And at this time, I was like, okay, I know I have to have like dilated at least to like 4 centimeters or something, because I've been having these contractions closer together. They were like 4 to 6 minutes apart, and sometimes they would even be like 4 to 5 minutes apart. And then when she checked me, I was only 3 centimeters dilated, and so I did not progress at all. I was 3 centimeters when I went to my OB checkup at noon too, so before my water broke. So I basically did not progress, and that's when my doctor started talking to me, my husband, about induction and starting Pitocin. And I knew going into labor that I did not want to get induced. I heard that it was really painful, and so I just knew and had my mindset that I wanted to have a natural birth. I did not want to get induced. And so me and my husband, we made it very clear to her that we don't want to get induced, we'll be patient, we want my body to just naturally go into labor. And she was very understanding. She did offer to come back in to check my cervix at 3 a.m. and if nothing happens, then she was going to start Pitocin. Again, we voiced our opinion, and she was like, okay, then she'll just wait until like the nurse gives her a call when I'm getting close to delivery. And so basically that was that. And me and my husband, we kind of went to work right away. So we started bouncing on the yoga ball, we started watching Friends, we were walking around, we were like swaying back and forth and just trying to stay active. And then it just got to the point where like my contractions, they were getting a little bit stronger and more intense, and then that's when I just couldn't really sit on the ball anymore. And you guys, I had back labor. So back labor is for sure the worst like experience of labor, like how everybody mentions. It feels like my back is going to break. Like, it was really painful, and my husband, he was trying to massage me. It didn't really help as much. We tried the heating pads, cooling pads, we had aromatherapy as well. We tried all of that and nothing seemed to work. And then I started to feel these weird symptoms of being nauseous, and like I started to have the shakes. And this is something that nobody has ever told me before going into labor, that you are gonna have these symptoms. So if you are gonna be going into labor, expect the feelings of being nauseous and the shakes. So that is all completely normal with labor. And so my nurse, she was just like, yeah, that's normal. If you do have the shakes, you want to just make sure you're letting your body just shake it out, because if you go against the shakes, then it's like your body is going against what the uterus is doing. And so basically I started having the shakes. I started feeling like I was gonna throw up. So then fast forward to about like 10 o'clock, my nurse, she offered to try different positions to help move baby down. And so I feel like this is like what changed and what progressed my labor so fast, with her positioning. And so she had me lay on my side, and she had my left leg cross over my right, and she was putting pressure on my knee and kind of like putting pressure as I was exhaling. And so with that, it was kind of me like breathing her down lower into like the pelvic bone area. And so then we did that for 10 minutes on my right side, and then we flipped over and did the same thing on my left side for another 10 minutes. And you guys, let me tell you guys, when she was positioning me, it was so painful. Like, I felt her moving, and I was just like I was verbally like expressing how I was feeling. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's so painful, I can feel her moving. And the nurse was like, yeah, that's good, that's what we want. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, it's so painful. But I knew that because I wanted to have a natural birth, I had to bear past this pain in order to like get through to progressing into labor and having my body naturally like do its work. And so then after that, she had me get up, and then me and my husband, we were swaying back and forth again. And then I went into the bathroom. And then I kind of sat on the toilet with a pillow, and I kind of just like leaned my head against the back of the toilet. I was there for about like 10 minutes, and then my legs started to go numb. So I was like, okay, I need to go back and lay down. I got back to lying on my side, and then it was when I started feeling more pressure down there, and I had this sense of burning sensation. And I told her that, and she was like, okay, like, are you willing for me to check your cervix again? And so she offered to check me earlier at around like 10 o'clock, but I didn't want her to. And then this was right around midnight now, and so I was like, you know what, just go ahead and check me, because I knew that it was more of like a mental game and not like a physical game. So I knew that if I had known that, like, say like if I was only dilated to 6 centimeters, I would have went through all that pain, and I'm only 6 centimeters. And so I feel like if I was to get my cervix checked earlier and I didn't progress as much, I would have been so disappointed, and I would have like wanted to ask for something. And so then I waited until midnight. She checked me, and I was 8 centimeters dilated. Within a 4-hour time frame, I went from 3 to 8 centimeters. So that was really great. And then it was honestly, it felt like such a relief. Like, okay, we are only like 2 centimeters away to pushing. And so I started kind of giving myself these, sorry about the noise, I started kind of giving myself these like prep talks, and kind of like saying like, oh, you know, like, you're almost there, you're only 2 centimeters away, like, you can do this, you got this, girl, like, get past the pain, and you are going to have this baby naturally. But then as soon as I started having those pep talks, this pain just kind of basically overwhelmed my body and took over, and I started to hyperventilate. And I started to hyperventilate, and I started to shake. So I was shaking like that, you guys. Like, it wasn't just any little shakes. I feel like I was having a seizure, and that might be exaggerating, but whatever. Like, I was shaking and I was hyperventilating, and that's when I lost touch with my breathing, and it was just me kind of going back and forth. So that was when I kind of reached my breaking point, and the pain was just getting so unbearable. And that's when I asked my husband, like, I need something, like, give me something, give me the epidural. And then he was like, no, you know, like, you can do it naturally, you're only 2 centimeters away, like, you got this. And I was like, I know, but it's so painful, I can't do it anymore, like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm shaking. And then I was like, I can't breathe. And then he was, okay, then how about we try, like, the laughing gas. And so that's a nitrous oxide. And I swear, you guys, my nurse, she was taking her sweet time, because I feel like I had like 3 or 4 contractions, and then that's when she came in with the laughing gas. But she came in eventually, and she kind of taught me how to use it. So I had to inhale and exhale into the laughing gas. And so the tube so the tube for the laughing gas was about like that size, or kind of like about that size there, and I had to breathe in and out of that tube. Like, imagine breathing in and out of that tube when you are in pain. So it kind of got to the point where I was not able to breathe into the tube anymore, because I had so much air to get out and push out. And it was nice because even during COVID, like, girl, I was dying. I was not going to be breathing and giving birth with the mask on. So my nurse, she was fine with me taking the mask off. I think it was right around like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock when I noticed my nurse turning on the light for the baby's bed, and then the doctor came in, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, we are finally there, like, we are gonna be meeting her soon. And I was like, oh my gosh, this pain is gonna be over soon. She checked me again, I was 10 centimeters, and she was like, okay, if you feel the urge to push, just push. And even before this too, like when I was around 8 centimeters, I was starting to feel the urge to push already, and she told me to not push, try to fight against it, because if I was to push, I would have tore. So it was really hard, but I was able to kind of manage to not push. And it was right around when it was 10 centimeters and I was ready to push when I couldn't push because I started to have cramps. So my worst fear came true. I did not want to cramp while I was going through labor, and unfortunately I did. And I feel like that's what caused me to be in delivery for so long. Like, pushing was so hard, you guys. Like, having to deal with cramps and having to deal with the intense contractions, it was so bad. Every time I would push, my feet would cramp, my calf would cramp, my hip would cramp, because I delivered on my side, and so raising my leg up closer to my like chest, it would cause a cramp in my hip. And so it was really bad. It was definitely a battle that I was struggling with. My husband, he was holding my leg too, and he was kind of there to see everything, and he kind of told me too, like when the baby's head was crowning, and that's when I was able to kind of push past it. But you guys, like, I felt the pressure, I felt the ring of fire like 5 to 6 times, because oh my gosh, I was so afraid of the ring of fire, and that is a real thing. I honestly felt like my vagina was on fire, because I was just, oh my gosh, it is a feeling that you would never ever forget. It was really painful. Every time I would push and I would feel it, I would hold myself back and I would stop pushing. And so she kept going in and out. She was playing peekaboo with me, and it was just so bad, and I just could not get past the ring of fire. And so then after a couple more pushes, my husband was like, her head is right there, her head is right there, like, just keep pushing. And so as soon as he told me her head was right there, I was like, okay, like, you know what, you gotta just get past it, you gotta just push past this point to get her head through. And so I pushed with all my might, and then I felt myself tear a little bit, which was so like but then she finally popped her head out, and then my doctor was like, okay, I need you to just do one more big push so that we can get her shoulders through. And I thought I was done already, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. And then I just did one little push again, and then her shoulders and everything slipped right out. And that was when baby Gracelyn arrived. They wiped her up really quick, put her on my chest. We were able to share that 1 hour together, and my husband got to cut the cord. And so that was my birth story, and it was honestly so emotional. Literally, it's like love at first sight. It's a type of feeling that I've never felt before, and I just literally was bawling my eyes out, and it was just oh my gosh, I was bawling my eyes out because she's finally here, and also so happy that that pain is over with. And it's crazy because as soon as you push past all of the ring of fire, the pressure, and baby's out, like you just get this overwhelming feeling of like oxytocin, which is that good feeling hormone, and you just like forget about all the pain. Like that's basically like what happened. I forgot about all that pain and I was just like, oh my gosh, she's finally here. And we are just so obsessed. We are so in love with her and she's perfect. And so yeah, she arrived April 13th at 4:04 a.m. and she is our perfect little angel. So yeah, and this is baby Gracelyn right here. And then I think that's it for my labor and delivery birth story. If you guys are nearing your due date, good luck. You guys are going to do great. You guys got this, mama. The pain is going to be there, but trust me, it's going to go away as soon as you see your baby. So it's all going to be worth it. Hi, baby. And since she's a little bit fussy right now, we're gonna go ahead and just end the video right here. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, definitely let me know in the comments below and I will try my best to answer them. But we're gonna go ahead and call it a video. So we'll see you guys in our next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we
Say bye. Bye bye. Bye YouTube.